Hello, this is Single Again for the First Time, podcast 12, Needles. I am Vincent Truman. This is Chicago, Illinois. This is May 5th, 2013. Happy Cinco de Mayo, even though that's not really a holiday. So that was my garden. It was a bit of my garden. Hope you enjoyed that. When I bought the house in 2010, it was just all weed trees about head high. Head high? Sure. About head high. That would be about 5'10" to you and me. And they were nasty, and I dug them all out. So it's been a 3-year project to make it look pretty, and it looks pretty now, so I'm kind of happy about it. I've got my obligatory coffee. Best thing about coffee is like having like really good coffee in a really good cup. See that cup? Look at that. Look at that cup. It's stone made or stone developed or stone Phillips. I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't know. So yeah, I was thinking of calling this podcast Needling, but I thought Needles was just a better title for some reason. I don't know. I just don't know. Nobody knows. And I wanted to kind of address the question is why do people who are separated or divorced continue to kind of like needle at each other? Why do they do that? In my divorce support group, I've noticed that a lot. It's like, well, we've been separated for a really long time, and God, he's still doing or he won't see the kids as a way to punishing me, or she won't do. A lot of people fucking do that. And I thought, well, I've done that. And my ex-spouse has done that. You don't mind if I talk for you, do you, darling? No? Okay. She's not really here. See, that's the joke. I'll give you 2 examples, but 2 examples. There's many examples. One of hers, one of mine. So hers is that she has gone out of her way to make friends with several people who used to be friends of mine. These are people who have been around for much longer than the time that I've known the ex-spouse. But now she kind of is extended an olive branch and wants to be pals. As a matter of fact, I heard recently that a former writing partner of mine and a former friend of mine and her all hung out together at the Drake Hotel, which is the place that I introduced to her. So there's these 3 people kind of introduced together by me at a place introduced to them by me, and I'm not there. And initially I'm like, well, what the fuck is that all about? And then I was like, well, it's kind of like a Wings reunion without Paul McCartney, isn't it? Listen to what the man said. It's a Paul McCartney joke, and not a good one. So why did she do this? Because these people have been around for ages, and she had either no time for or disdain for. Well, my first thought is to piss me off, and I can hear her in my head going, which translates into English as, it's not all about you, asshole. That's possibility 1, and possibility 2 is these people have been around, and she's wanted to be friends with them all this time, but only really saw a chance to be when I was out of the picture, or suddenly these people that she had disdain for now have viability. I consider that a needle. Whatever. I like the Wings without Paul McCartney thing. That's kind of cool. Good luck, kids. And my example is, I know I've mentioned that my former spouse had an proclivity for playing the video game Second Life. If you don't know Second Life, that's awesome. But it's a virtual 3D world where you can create an avatar that looks like you, only without the chin hairs hanging out like a fucking goat or whatever. That was nasty. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I'll leave it in. Whatever. I can't be happy all the time. And you can like fly around and like hang out with other like-minded people. It's like it's a glorified chat room with like some bad animation, whatever. And when we were in the throes of our separation leading into the divorce, I created an avatar, a secret avatar, and I joined all her groups and hung out at the places she hung out and actually spoke to at least one of her avatars. Um, without her knowing it was me. And now, why did I do that? To irritate her. I never did anything about it, so probably never irritated her. Either irritate her, or suddenly I just had a sudden interest in listening to Duran Duran music as an avatar who purported to be from Canada. I'm not really from Canada. I think both of those were just needles. And so why do they happen? Why do they happen? That's what I want to know. Why? And I think, after a lot of reflection, I think it's because ex-spouses want to have a final conversation with their ex-partner in which the ex-partner begins with, "I'm sorry it fucked up because I blank." I would have considered such a conversation with my ex-spouse, but I was never really told why I was left. If there's during the heat of the separation and the divorce, I was never really told. Well, it's not one thing. Well, what are the things? I don't want to talk about it. If reasons have come up subsequent to that, then there are reasons that came up subsequent to that. She had more than enough opportunity to tell me. But I would have entertained it, but I would have been reluctant. And on her part, she's not going to admit to any fault on her part and say, "I'm sorry, it screwed up because I blank, blank, blank." It's just not in her character. I don't think it's in a lot of people's characters. Usually it's somebody else that did something wrong, not ourselves. Except in my case, where I did nothing wrong, and it was all somebody else. No, that's not true. No, I still maintain I'm 17% responsible. Maybe 18. Maybe. But the thing is, here's the thing about that. Wanting that kind of conversation and not getting that conversation, so you kind of needle the other person a little bit. Here's the thing, though. It's never going to fucking happen. All right? And here's why. One, they're under no obligation to do so. And two, which is very connected to one, because I didn't rehearse this ahead of time, is that they are not part of the partnership. They don't owe you that. A partner owes another partner an explanation of what they're doing and why they're doing it and stuff like that, because you're linked. But when you're not linked, that obligation goes away. But when we're separated and divorced and stuff like that, we have like that kind of like ghost leg thing where our spiritual leg has been, I'm making this up, spiritual leg has been removed, but we can still feel it. So we're still responding to all the synapses that went into place when a partnership existed. And when it doesn't exist and we're not getting what we want, we lash out a bit. I'm going to hang out at the Drake. I'm going to create an avatar and be friends with your friends. And be a dick about it. So I did that. She did that. But the end result is that conversation isn't coming. So I would like to say, look, the conversation's not coming. You've got to move forward. But the thing is, and the good news is, that by not expecting that conversation to come, you are moving forward. Just takes time, man. I shouldn't have said that bit on the end. Just takes time, man. Fuck that. Obviously, it takes time. time heals all wounds, and time wounds all heals. Both of those, they kind of go together. Okay, we're at the end. I just wanted to go over that little thing because I think it's an interesting thing to think about. Thank you very much for watching, and feel free to write me or friend me on the Book of Face, or I'm on the Twitterverse as Vincent Truman, one word. Whatever you like, it's good. Somebody did write to me in the last couple days and said, you know, it's nice to hear somebody just talk from personal experience and to give out some good advice and not be selling a book at the same time or a legal service. So you're welcome. I asked last week for somebody to give me a good closing because I've been saying like carpe your life or something like that. And my friend Alice suggested something along the lines of, okay, goodbye, yo, whatever. So, okay, yeah, goodbye, whatever. That is stupid.